All around is only silence and desolate land. As far as the eye can see, plants have established their kingdom, because human existence is now almost zero. A deadly virus called Huls has slowly wiped out humanity from the face of the earth. Yet one girl is alive, Rory. She somehow gets through each day in this crematorium-like world. Losing everyone close to her, she constantly thinks about death. But something, somewhere, does not let her fall into that eternal sleep. Rory's husband was infected with the virus, so Rory was forced to end him with her own hands, although she never wanted to do it. But that day, she had no choice. On the way back from burying her husband, her eyes showed how broken she was inside. Life had become a burden to her now. But the biggest blow was yet to come. When she returned home, she found that her only daughter had also been infected with the virus. At first, she didn't understand, but when she saw the scar on her daughter's chest, she realized that her husband had also bitten her daughter before he died. Rory held on to hope. Maybe by some miracle the girl would recover. But over time, the girl's condition became more and more terrible. Finally, Rory could not hold back any longer, seeing her child suffer like this. She put her only life to sleep forever with her own hands. Rory's life is now completely empty. There is no reason to live anymore. So he leaves his home and moves in with his father-in-law, Max. Max lives in a secluded forest. This is how the surviving people now spend their days. The city has been destroyed, and those who survive live in hiding. Max knows what Rory has been through. 2 years have passed since the incident. Still, he tries to convince Rory it's time to move on. But it's not that easy for Rory. It is difficult to find prey in the forest now, so Max has to work with rabbits. He wants to take Rory hunting too, but he doesn't agree. Max doesn't insist, but he is worried. Rory will get lost somewhere one day. There is danger everywhere outside. But Rory's fear has disappeared. He doesn't even care about death anymore. Now it is necessary to explain a little. What is GM? After the old government completely collapsed, a group organized itself. They captured the survivors and put them in camps. But those camps are not shelters. Rather, prisoners are made to work like slaves there. Many innocent people run away to escape from GM. There are also bloody clashes with them. It is in this situation that we meet Neil. Wounded, tired, he is running away from someone. GM people are after him because he has stolen an antidote from their warehouse, which can cure infected people. At least, that is what he thinks. How true it is, he himself does not know. Neil is shot. He quickly reaches his partner. Seeing his condition, his partner tells him to run away, because with what he has, a new chapter of humanity may begin. Neil does not agree. He knows that those coming from behind will not leave his friend. But he gives in to his friend's insistence. As he moves forward, a GM official named Logan reaches his partner. Logan is desperate for the antidote. He is willing to cross any limit. Despite repeated interrogations, his partner does not say anything. Not even if he is given an electric shock, because he knows that his death is inevitable. But even in this death, the lives of innocent people are being saved. That is his peace. In the end, he falls victim to Logan's gun. Meanwhile, Rory was sitting alone by the lake, thinking about his daughter. Once upon a time, his little daughter used to play on the shore of this lake. Now it was all over. He felt like death was better than life. Just then, he heard a sound. He turned around and saw a horse, and next to it was an injured man, Neil. He had arrived here after running away. Rory doesn't think it makes sense to take responsibility for a stranger. He turns away and walks away. But the horse seems to be telling him to stop. Inside, Rory is still soft, so he picks up Neil and brings him home. Max, on his way back from hunting, sees some dead Huls bodies on the road. Seeing GM agents a little further away, he realizes that danger is just around the corner. Rory tells Max about Niall. Max gets angry when he sees the stranger. He gets even angrier when he sees that the man is dressed as a GM soldier. He tells Rory that if they find out that the agent is being hidden here, they will kill or imprison everyone. Rory's argument is, the man was unconscious near the sink. Can he be left? Max is not willing to take the risk. He decides to leave him somewhere unknown that night. But at night, it starts to rain heavily. Max can't go anymore. Even during the meal, he keeps scolding Rory about Niall. Rory says, "Even if we don't have a hope of survival, we can save someone else." Max gets even angrier at this. "Our lives are our greatest asset, and you're risking that." The night grows longer, but Rory cannot sleep. His mind wanders to the stables. What is in Neil's bag? He checked the bag after arriving. There he finds an unknown liquid. What it is, he does not know. Finally, he reached his daughter's house. As soon as he entered, the memory of that day came flooding back. The infected husband had come to the door before the cake was cut on his daughter's birthday. He was advancing towards her, and Rory was too late to shoot. That one moment of delay had cost him everything. That shadow still haunts him to this day. Deciding to leave the house and start anew somewhere else, he goes to the stable. But at that moment, Niall's horse starts neighing loudly. Niall comes from behind and grabs Rory by the throat. A Huls is trying to get into the stable. The two try to close the door together, but in the end, Niall has to shoot him. Rory asks, "Who are you? Do you work for GM?" Neil replies, "No, I just want to live. I want to see this destroyed world." The answer seems strange to Rory. He doesn't say anything. Neil wants his bag, wants to leave. Rory says there's Huls outside, and he's bleeding a lot. It's not right to go out in this condition. But Neil doesn't listen. He falls down while walking. Out of humanity, Rory bandages his wound, telling him to stay the night. With this generosity, Neil tells his story. 8 days ago, his 13-year-old son was infected.
Neil somehow found out that an antidote had been made at the GM camp. He risked his life to get it. Now he had to reach his son as soon as possible. Rory stops after hearing the story, because something like this happened to him too. He tells Niall, "It's not right to go out in the dark at night. Go tomorrow morning." After a long time, Niall trusts someone. He thanks him in a slow voice and agrees. On the other side of the mountain, Logan and his team are detected by the scanner. There are people in that house. But is Logan after Niall or the antidote? That will be known later. In the morning, Niall opens his eyes. He sees Max's gun at his neck. Max is suspicious. How did this man get in? Rory says that he didn't come to harm anyone. He just came for his son. Now he's leaving. Max still doesn't believe it. But then Neil felt a sharp pain in his chest. He stopped breathing. Max realized that the air was trapped in his lungs. He quickly inserted a needle into his lungs and blew the air out. Neil fainted from the pain. After a few hours, his condition improved. This time, Max began to believe a little. After so long, he saw a ray of hope in Rory's eyes, which had been lost somewhere for 3 years. The warning alarm goes off. The camera shows Logan and his team arriving. Max quickly tells Rory and Neil to get out the back door. They won't stop until they stopped I'll see to the rest. Rory wants to take him too, but Max won't leave his house. He hugs Rory and says, "You're my hope now. Keep that hope alive." As soon as they leave, Max comes out with a gun. Logan says, "You don't belong here. You belong in the camp." Max doesn't care. He says, "I'd rather live freely than be a slave." A sound comes from the stables. Logan's men realize that the two have escaped. But by then, Rory and Neil have moved away with the horses. Max keeps shooting until his body responds. Logan finally reaches Max. He asks, "Where is Neil?" Max says only, "He's not a cheater." Logan electrocutes him and sends his partner to find him. But his partner is tired of this madness. He won't go any further. Logan sets out alone to find them. Deep in the forest, Niall tells Rory, "You take the horse and go back to your home. I'm going myself." But Rory refuses. He knows how deep the pain of losing a loved one is. He doesn't want Niall to suffer the same, so he stays with him. Just then, the sound of gunfire is heard in the distance. Logan sees them. The two leave their horses and hide in the woods. But Niall can't go any further. He sits there with his gunshot wounds and hunger. He hands his bag to Rory. It has the antidote, the map. "Take me home. My mother and son are there." Rory knows Neil will not return. Neil also knows he has entrusted the task to a trusted person. With his last breath, he only says, "Your daughter was very lucky. She had such a brave mother." Rory escapes. Niall uses his remaining strength to fight Logan. Finally, he is exhausted, but it is not a defeat, because the group of Huls is surrounding him. This is where his story ends, and Logan's too. Rory is running alone in the dark. Suddenly, some infected people surround him, but he has only one way out: to hide his scent by applying a special liquid to his body. After a while, one of the infected people hits him. He finishes him off, but he himself is also damaged. It is clear he is now infected.
Yet the other Hulks do not touch him, because he is now going to be like them.
Rory knows that he has only a few moments. He wants to finish the job before then. He reaches Niall's house in the early morning light. The old mother comes out with a gun. Seeing her son's bag, seeing Rory standing in front of him, the mother asks, "Where is my son?" Rory doesn't say anything, but that silence says it all. The mother understands. The son is gone, yet she has kept her word. At the end, we see Rory sitting on the bank of the river. He is talking to himself. God has abandoned us because we all wanted to be gods and forgot humanity. Saying this, he ends his life. Even at the moment of death, there is no regret on his face. He could not save his own daughter, but he saved someone else's daughter. In this peace, he falls into his last sleep. This is the end of this story.